Hello, my dear listeners. I'm glad you're back. Today, we're going to talk about AI in digital marketing. There are lots of ways in which digital marketers are using AI, from personalized content, creating very, very personalized content for marketing, targeting specific users, behavioral targeting, like if you're using an ad platform, a lot of the behavioral targeting that happens is done through AI and things like that. In terms of paid ad campaigns, conversion rate optimization, all of that stuff is being managed by AI at this point. And so what I wanted to do today is talk about what AI is doing to digital marketing. How is AI being used in Google Ads, for instance? How is AI being used in Facebook ads? We'll give you a under the hood kind of explanation of what's happening underneath there. And then considerations for using AI in creative writing, because marketing is about creativity. There's a lot of creative muscles that get used. We are compensated for the creativity and the strategy that we bring to the table for our clients. And so I want to talk a little bit about how you can use AI in your marketing so that you can be better at creating, better at writing, and then also at image generation. Obviously, there are issues related to that. There's copyright issues, there's intellectual property issues that comes up. But regardless, I'll try to dissect that a little bit. I'm not an attorney, but I will certainly try to give you my take on some of these things and all that. So this episode is geared towards just understanding how AI is impacting marketing and the ways in which we can do better in marketing. And also, if you are doing your own marketing as a business owner, this would be a great episode for you because you could try to learn about different AI tools that are available to you so that you can use it in your own marketing and enhance your marketing. So with that, it's a jam-packed session, so let's get started. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market. I'm your host, Sailes Kimire. In this podcast, I talk about all things digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO and PPC, as well as paid media marketing and email marketing, as well as social and anything in between. If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. So tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. You'll gain some practical insights, new strategies, tactics, and tools that will help you grow your business. I provide helpful information to business owners like you to help your business. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and share this content. So the first thing that I wanted to tackle today is give you a behind the scenes look on how AI is being used in Google Ads. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Google Ads is as PPC, pay per click, those sponsored ads that you see at the top of any given search. So if you do a search for doctor near me, dentist near me, veterinary near me, or veterinary clinic near me, or an attorney near me, or anything like that, the first 4 listings that show up are typically sponsored. There used to be a yellow hue behind it, but that's been gone for years. Then they used to add a short AD next to it to say advertisement. That's been gone for a while. And so now it just said sponsored, and most people don't even know that it's sponsored. So they think that's the best thing and they click, which is fine. I mean, Google's making a lot of money doing it. I feel like, I'm not going to go on too much of a rant on this, but I feel like it should be a little bit more identified that it's sponsored, that it's paid. But who am I to say? It's the consumers that need to make that decision. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look at the Google Ads platform. I've been working in Google Ads since 2004, 2005, when it was very simple. You could do even redirects back then. Now that's illegal. You can't do redirects on Google Ads. That hasn't been allowed for years. Anyway, so there's a couple of areas where Google has really done a good job on implementing AI. The first one is smart bidding. Smart bidding, so the platform pay-per-click runs on an auction system, right? So for those of you not familiar, So let's say you want to show up for, let's pick a keyword, spa, medical spa or something like that. So if you want to, so you say, okay, I want to pay $5 for a click for medical spa as a keyword, right? And so, but you're not the only one that's in that space. So there might be 10 other people that want to also rank for med spa. And so there's going to be 10 other people, and the other guy might be willing to pay 6. The other guy might be willing to pay 3. The other guy might be willing to pay 4. So it's an auction. And so the highest bidder typically gets it in an auction, right? But the Google algorithm is a little bit different in that it assigns a quality score to the bidder. So the bidder has to be relevant, because you can't just have anybody come and bid for med spa. You actually have to be a med spa. You actually have to be a good med spa. You actually have to be an authorized med spa. You can't just be out there trying to get med spa traffic to your site and get people confused. So the relevancy to you and the word has to be very high. And Google assigns what is known as a quality score to determine if the relevancy of your advertising account to this particular keyword. So that it does that by looking at your ad copy, looking at your landing page copy, looking at the keywords you're bidding for, and then a history. So you have to, obviously if you're just starting out, you get dinged for that. But over time, it looks at your account and it says, okay, this is a high relevant account. People are not calling and complaining because they didn't get med spa when they clicked on the med spa link. So that bid price that is assigned, how you bid has always been one of the most strategic elements of running a very successful PPC campaign, because what you pay up front determines how profitable you are downstream, right? So they've made that whole thing very, very automated. It's basically, you basically select your goal at this point. You select your budget. How much am I willing to pay? Like your overall daily budget, not a specific bid budget. And then you basically say, okay, I'm willing to pay $45 for a conversion. I'm just using that as an example. And then so based on the $45 conversion that you're willing to pay for and your budget, it kind of determines the best bid price for you, and it bids for you. And then you just kind of see your ROI, right? So that one gets a little gray for me. Again, my age kind of shows, but technically I'm allowing the same guy setting the price to bid for me at the same time, right? So it's like putting it in real estate terms. The seller agent and the buyer agent are the same guy in this situation. Look, I don't have anything against anybody on this. I'm just saying. But people are seeing an ROI, and that's all that matters at this point. Smart bidding has allowed people, at least the practitioner like me, or the people that run paid ads, to be a little bit more relaxed and be focused on outcomes versus the nuances of bidding correctly, right? So I always thought the bidding correctly thing was always a pain in the neck. I remember way back, looking at spreadsheets with the bid prices on my bid prices on every keyword, and looking at the CPC and trying to figure out what's the best one and what's gonna drive the biggest value and the biggest return and things like that. So smart bidding has been a great AI tool in Google Ads. It's also made it very efficient. You can run campaigns faster because it's a lot easier for me to know, okay, if I can generate a call from this campaign, I'm willing to pay, $75 for a call, right? So that information is really good to know, because then if you're paying $75 for a call and you get 10 calls, you've paid $750. And if you get 2 conversions out of that, 2 sales out of that, that's a 20% rate, and your product is selling for, let's say, $1,500, you've made $3,000 on, $750 spend, and then you let Google handle the rest, the bidding and all that kind of stuff. So it makes it very efficient. It's precise. It's automated. It's a good thing. So that's the first AI enhancement that Google has really done a good job on for Google Ads. So if you're thinking about running Google Ads, don't be intimidated by smart bidding. Just try to learn what all those different elements are and what makes most sense for you, and then have it bid accordingly. And then responsive search ads is another one, right? A/B testing is obviously, you don't know what message is going to work with your audience. You may know, but you definitely don't know for sure, 100%. And companies are constantly testing what works, what offers work, and things like that. So responsive search ads has kind of taken that away a little bit. You still have to do some level of A/B testing, but basically the way responsive search ads works is you enter in, I believe it's 4 headlines and 15 descriptions. So each text ad has a headline and it has descriptions, right? So you enter in 4 headline variations, unique ones, and then you enter in 15 descriptions, right, for an ad group. So for about 30 keywords, you do that. And then you hit start. And then what Google's system does is it takes headline 1, description 1, headline 2, description 2, and then just kind of runs those, see which ones work. Then it starts to take headline 1, description 2, headline 1, description 3, headline 4, description 13. Just looks at all of these combinations and permutations. I mean, obviously, if you've done permutations and combinations in math class like I have, even 2 or 3, once you get to 2 or 3, 4 orders of magnitude, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of potential combinations. And you're looking at 4 and 15 here. So the combinations are quite a bit. And then basically, based on budget and performance, it starts to say, okay, this combination works the best here. This combination works the best here. Here's the 3 combinations that you should use. And then it uses those for your campaign. So it's a great way to get a lot out of your Google Ads. It's a great feature. I love it. Because, like I said before, we used to write 3, I don't know, maybe, there's no, I'm not a conjoined twin, there's not a second head here. But I remember, for each ad group, I used to write, this is 10, 15 years ago. I don't know what the kids are doing these days, but I used to write 3 ads for each ad group. And then every 2 weeks, look at the performance, drop the worst performing, look at the best performing, improve the best performing, write 3 new ad copies based on the best performing, and then start over. So that's what you're doing to kind of improve your ads, right? And all of that has been automated. So these young kids would never know what we did back in 2006, 2007 to get our Google Ads campaigns to work. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one is personalization and optimization. AI analyzes user behavior and trends to create personalized and relevant ads. It gives you audience recommendations. It has predictive algorithms in place to consider past interactions. The whole point here is to only show your ad to the person with the highest purchase intent. And it does a great job doing that, to be honest with you. I think those guys at Google have done a great job. I mean, I don't like Google these days as a company. I think they've gone off their rails. They're too big, in my opinion. It needs a competitor. Anyway, so but having said that, these tools though are fantastic, man. They've done a heck of a job helping advertisers tailor their messages for their audience, looking for purchase intent and all that kind of stuff. So, because I got a message from one of our clients, their boss's boss, actually, high level dude who signs the checks, got an email from him saying, "Hey, I was doing a search for this term and this term and this term, and none of our ads showed up." And so that's a typical question that I get from a lot of my clients from time to time. And the answer is pretty easy if you understand the system. There's no purchase intent. I mean, were you looking to purchase that? Because Google has looked at your web history, what you click on, what you like, who you are. Unless you purchase your company's products on a daily basis, or you are really interacting with your company on a regular basis, and you're actually doing transactions and you're actually liking stuff and doing all that kind of stuff, they're not really going to show you that ad. So yeah, the system's working the way it should, right? So once I was able to communicate that to the dude signing the checks, the dude signing the check has continued to sign the check. So that's a good thing. And then there's obviously budget management. I think it goes to the bidding a little bit, but the budget management tool is very effective in doing budget allocations, helping you get better results and things like that. One of the main things on Google Ads that I really like is that recommendation engine. I don't know if they call it the recommendation engine, but it's the thing that shows up when you log into your account, all the different recommendations. I will caution you that you should never blindly accept all of the recommendations. I did that once or twice, a couple of times, and I live to regret it. So read through all the recommendations, see what makes sense, because they will recommend keywords for you, because keyword discovery was a big part of PPC campaign management. It still is. Keyword discovery is new keywords that you have not thought of that maybe somebody else, just because you search for roofing companies a certain way, doesn't mean everybody searches the same way. And so, but Google knows how people are searching, right? And so it'll recommend keywords to you. It will recommend copy changes to you. It'll recommend time changes to you, like time targeting. It'll recommend budget enhancements, features, new features that you should be taking advantage of, how to include, let's say, different, extensions and things like that. So it's a very powerful thing, and I think it's a very good implementation of their AI system. So at least that's what I'm thinking that is it's the AI system, right? So anyway, that's all on Google. So now let's go under the hood in the Facebook ads platform. I mean, not to be outdone, right? Mr. Zuckerberg is not going to fall behind. And so let's call it meta ads. I think they want to be known as meta ads. Still don't like the name. Have never liked the name. It's a weird name. Mr. Zuckerberg, if you're listening to this, please change the name. Make it more exciting. Meta just sounds... Anyway, so if Mr. Zuckerberg is listening to my podcast, then that would be really awesome. So if you know Mr. Zuckerberg, please tell him to listen to my podcast. But anyway, Facebook ads, the generative AI features that are in there, the ad creative side is amazing. They've integrated background generation, so it creates multiple backgrounds, because you have to have an image for the most part when you're doing Facebook ads. It's a visual medium, especially if you're posting ads using the same platform. You use the same platform to post ads to Instagram, so you need images. So it has the generative AI integrated into its creatives now, so you can generate multiple backgrounds to complement product images. It can help you tailor image assets for different audiences. It can help you adjust the creatives to fit various aspect ratios, so you don't have to do any of that stuff. So you upload an image and it does all of that for you. It also generates text variations that you might want to use. So there's a lot of AI integration in there. So a lot of the things that we used to do on Facebook ads to run those ads is now being done by generative AI. Anyway, so it's a good enhancement productivity tool. Facebook's advertising platform has great predictive analytics. User behavior based on likes, shares, clicks, impressions. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to pull up some data. I've been meaning to do this. I'm surprised I didn't do this before this podcast, but I've been meaning to pick up some more recent data on Facebook engagement levels, because my gut says that the younger audience has moved away quite a bit from Facebook. But I know they have Instagram as well, so their platform covers both. But I say this because my daughter's 17 and she still has not asked me if she could open a Facebook ads account. So it's just a Facebook page. None of our friends are on Facebook. None of these teenagers talk about Facebook. Yeah. So, and that's my 17-year-old, 15-year-old, certainly. Yeah. So I think the younger generation is definitely moving away from Facebook, but I think there's still a lot of older millennials, Gen Xers, and younger boomers who are very, very much on Facebook. And so there's a lot of data there that Facebook uses to better target your images, your ads. And the predictive models of user behavior, interest, when you're going through it is quite amazing because sometimes we're doing ads for veterinary technicians. You put in the qualifier, you put in your audience as veterinary technician, and it starts recommending to you all kinds of things related to veterinary technicians that you humanly would not have been able to know about. So it does a really good job of suggesting the audiences that you should be targeting, the places you should be targeting them, and all that kind of stuff. So overall, the platform is better because of it, right? And then the dynamic ad delivery obviously goes without saying. It's trying to show you the same ad. It takes feedback from you, from the user, to know what ads you like, what ads you don't like. They know a lot about you, man. They know a lot about you. You'd be surprised at how much data they have. When it's free, you are the product. That saying has been really hitting home for me over the years. Anyway, personalization, I think we've talked about that a little bit as well. They also have automated bidding strategies built in, so you don't really have to worry about the budget side. It gives you an audience segment analysis of what kind of people you're going to reach, who you're going to reach, when they might interact with you, and things like that. So there's a lot of information. So there's a lot of AI that's really built into both Google and Facebook their advertising platforms, and obviously in their engagement side on the front end as well. So that's a little bit of a under the hood kind of overview for you, so you know what's happening behind the scenes in case you are thinking about doing it yourself without using a professional like myself. But even when you are using a professional, it's not a bad thing for you to be aware of what's available, what can be done, and all that kind of stuff. So now I wanted to talk about, let's see here. I think I wanted to talk a little bit about the considerations of when using AI. People are using AI to write essays, write blog posts, write legal briefs, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you can do that very easily in cloud. My choice, my tool of choice is Cloud from Anthropic, Cloud 3. I think there was a head-to-head test. I was reading in TechCrunch. They did a head-to-head test between Cloud 3 and ChatGPT, and Cloud 3 was better. That's according to the authors of TechCrunch. So I use Cloud. I like it. On the image generation side, there is Midjourney and DALL-E 3. I was on a creative call a couple of weeks ago. This guy showed me the artwork generated by Midjourney versus the artwork generated by DALL-E 3 using the same prompts, and it was night and day. Midjourney blew DALL-E 3 out of the water like you would not believe. It was unreal. So Midjourney definitely takes the cake on that one. Video generation, there's Sora. I know there's a couple other ones out there, but Sora is the one that's making big news right now. So check that out as well. A couple of considerations, right? Obviously, if you're using it for commercial purposes, again, let's go back to the definitions. It's regenerative. It's not creating anything new. It's taking information that is available out in the open internet, and then it is using your prompt and taking that data and then generating a result for you. That's the basic premise of it, which means it's using work that somebody else has done. It is scanning documents. It is looking at images that fit what you're looking for, and it's generating a response. So there's some licensing issues that come up. Obviously, if you try to generate an image of a political figure, there can be issues there. I don't think they even allow you to do that. At least it hasn't allowed me. I've tried to do it a couple of times just to see what it would do. Hasn't done that. It was able to generate an image of me, though. I did a test on DALL-E 3 not too long ago and said, hey, create an image of Silas Kimide. And obviously, I'm not famous enough at the moment because Mr. Zuckerberg is not listening to my podcast just yet. But it was happy to comply, and it generated 4 images of me. And I put it up on my Instagram, and I asked people what they thought. It was off. It was nowhere near as what I look like. But it did capture the background well, because obviously I'm from Nepal and AI knows I'm from Nepal. The background image that it put of me was of the Himalayas and some of the villages in Nepal. That I thought was cool, but the actual picture of me was nowhere near close to me at all. But then when I went back a couple of days later and I tried to do the same thing, it wouldn't let me do it. So I don't know if they changed something at the time or not. But anyway, so I listened to some attorneys talk about this in terms of copyright considerations. And obviously, what I'm about to share is not considered legal advice. You need to consult an attorney, but I'm just telling you what I heard, which is there's a lot of gray area. One of the good examples that this attorney used was when the camera came about, then people were obviously taking pictures and then were saying that this picture is copyrighted, right? So then the question is, at those early days, is like, you're taking a picture of a mountain which has already existed. You didn't create that mountain. All you did was use a machine to create a picture and then say that that particular instance is yours. So we're probably looking at a similar situation. So if your AI tool, if you generate an artwork based on AI, it's looking at all the data sets out there that are available to it, but the prompt that you've used, that is still your skill set. That is still your effort and your work that you put in, right? The quality of that output is only going to be as good as the quality of your prompt that you put out there, correct? And so if you have spent a lot of time on the prompt, it's well-defined, and you've put thought and effort into that prompt, and you generate something based on that, potentially, it could be yours. Potentially, right? So it's still a lot of gray area out there. I think it's going to take several years before, case law starts to catch up to it and things like that. But I thought that photography example was a great example. In that presentation, this gentleman also showed versions of the New Yorker, one case that New Yorker lost, one case that New Yorker won, of different images that artists were suing for copyright infringement. So I think there are going to be cases, there are going to be lawsuits, there are going to be issues. I know that there's a big fight between New York Times and ChatGPT, OpenAI, on them using the open information that the New York Times put out. So it's going to be interesting. Data sources are going to be interesting. Somebody that I respect, that I listened to, was talking about people being able to use, the Reddit data, because Reddit has a lot of data. If that opens up to AI, apparently it's not being used right now. And then obviously when Sora came out and they interviewed the CTO from OpenAI, I think she was very cagey in the way in which she responded to the question of whether or not they used YouTube videos in their video creation algorithms. So she was being very cagey, because if she says, yes, we were using YouTube based on what YouTube's user agreements are, and YouTube, you're owning that, Google could put its hammer down and AI could stop to exist. So OpenAI could stop to exist. So anyway, so there's a lot of issues there. Obviously, there's plagiarism is an issue. Copyright infringement is an issue. So for now, my recommendation to marketing people is use AI as a productivity enhancement tool to get your ideas flowing, get your juices going, but don't rely on it. Don't be, just using AI and sending that to the client as finished work. I don't think the work is nowhere as near as could be called finished. So there's still some ways to go there anyway. But regardless, I think it's a great tool. I use it every day. You should use it every day as well. And then, use it as a productivity tool. So anyway, so with that, we covered a lot here. We covered basically how these major platforms like Google Ads and Facebook Ads are using AI in their platforms to make better ads and help ad performance. We also talked about the considerations for using AI in both creative creation of writing and image and video and things like that. So with that, I hope I gave you a good framework to use AI in digital marketing. So go forth and create and market. All the best to you.